Right guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to go over some tips. So I know when I first started making beats that my beats was absolute arse. It took me a long ass time to be able to make beats like I do now. I'd watch all these YouTube videos of like Nick Mira making beats.
I'm just gonna grab a sound.
And like pretty much all of them was amazing. And then I'd go into Logic and they were just arse really. So today we're gonna go over some things that I wish I knew back then. So yeah, these are quite important things. If you're new here, follow me on Instagram, subscribe if you're new. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. Let's get straight into it. Right, so now we are in Logic and here is a beat. So tip number one, I would say, which doesn't even regard to really the beat making process, but more of the settings, would be when you go to bounce beats, turning this normalizer off. Now this is a really quick thing, but I swear to God, this is a huge thing. For like the longest time, my beats was never loud enough, and I would hear all these YouTube people that had like crazy loud beats, and it turns out that this normalizer was just on. So definitely turn that off. Essentially what this does is just like normalize it. Wow. Yeah. So it'll make everything a bit more balanced, but sometimes you just want to kick that absolutely. And this will prevent that from happening. Get that crap off. And number two is something that I got, I think, like 3 years into making beats, and it was a soft clipper. So for me, I use this T-Rex 5 clipper. I'm telling you, if you're going to invest in a plugin, get this one. If you're in Logic and you watch a lot of FL Studio like producers, all of them use soft clippers to get that sort of like crunchy sound. And us Logic people don't have that. So this is where this comes in, and it just makes them kicks and 808s go. So just to show you the difference, this is off. And this is on. Oof. So that is a huge difference. And even better, instead of having to mess around with settings all the time, you can just copy mine down. These are the best settings by far. And it also means when you come to mix and mastering, you can just move this output knob to sort of make it louder or not. I think I got this like 2 years into making beats and I'm never going back. If I could only have one plugin out, it would probably be this. So if you want your beats to not suck ass, get this. So the next thing would be scales. So I know when I first started making beats, I knew pretty much nothing about music theory, and I still don't. So this is where scales come in. So I'm not actually using a scale in this beat, but I'm just going to show you. So if we just get like a crappy instrument in. Yeah, that'll do. I'm gonna just drag this scale in. I'm gonna leave the link to the scales in the description as well. Now we can just drag that out, and now we have a scale in. So we don't have to sort of like mess around with a MIDI keyboard or whatever if you don't know what you're doing. Now you can just stick to these like that. So let's make a quick melody. So you can literally just place these anywhere really. As long as they're in this scale bit here, they'll work. Cut that over. So now I've made that with a scale, now you can sort of just make the top melody. get the point of that. So even if you're just using these scales at the beginning, I actually made that whole melody in like a minute. And then once you started learning these scales and things, you can just sort of go without it if you want. Yeah, scales are a huge thing. I've been using scales for years, and I will always use scales. If you don't know music theory, your music theory sucks, like mine, use scales. Link in description. Now the next one is using samples. So if you're making beats, you probably want placements, and samples are the absolute key to placements. Now it's a bit of a controversial thing if you should just use placements all the time, but personally I use a lot of placements, predominantly off Splice. As you can see, these are all the samples I've got. I've got a big ass catalog of them, and this just allows it so you can literally grab like 10 samples, like really good samples, in like the space of like 10 minutes off Splice, throw them into Logic and make beats out of them, and then literally send them off to artists. It takes a lot of legwork out of sitting there and crafting a melody for like 25 minutes, which no one's going to use. Also allows you to send out a crap load of beats to a series of different artists, and that is literally the main thing when you're going for placements. You just want to send a lot of beats, because your perfect beat, they might just think, meh. Even on like Drake's new album, there's literally a video breaking down all the samples that was on there. There's pretty much a sample in almost every track. So yeah, no one's gonna think you're a better producer if you just do the melody by itself. It's literally just how the song comes out in the end. I've made a bunch of videos in the past showing you some of my placements, and they're using samples, and I love them songs. So use samples. And the next thing is good sounds and transitions. I can't stress this enough in beats, how important the actual sounds that you're using are. All the sounds I'm using here, I've literally pretty much done nothing to, and it's all just because they're already good sounds. So you shouldn't have to be doing all this EQ just to make your like kicks hit hard or anything like that. Just get good sounds and you're good. So for example, in this beat I've got a bunch of rises, which really add to the whole production of the song and sort of like differentiating between like intros and things like that. Like nothing really happened there, it didn't really sound that good. And now this is with the transitions. And even this like short one. So transitions are a huge thing, more when it comes to like structure, but even just these sounds, like the drum sounds. Like to get a kick like that, like you shouldn't have to do a lot to this kick. On my EQ, I've literally done nothing. And same with the 808. If you've been following me for a while, I've already been giving these sounds in my free drum kit out for free. Go get that, they're all free, and I promise you they'll make your beats a million times better. No excuses for arse kicks. And literally the final tip, and probably the most important one, is just practice. So I spent a lot of hours making beats pretty much every day, and a lot of them, if I listen to now, would still be yeah. But it took them terrible beats to get to ones where I was actually happy to send out and get placements and things like that. So don't be discouraged, it's just part of like the journey of getting better. That is the last secret tip, but probably the most important. Right guys, so that's been it for the video. Hopefully this helped. I promise if you apply these strategies, then your beats will be a lot better. I'll write all these down in the description if you just want to like sort of go over them and things like that. And yeah, that's pretty much the video. If you're new here, follow me on Instagram, subscribe if you're new, we're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. And yeah, that's been it. Thanks for watching. Until next time.